Hello Corkies, welcome back. We got another coffee brew video for you. We are using the AEROPRESS today, and we're going to be using a technique that has won multiple years of World AEROPRESS Championships. There's a few different variations of this, and feel free to tweak it however you like, but generally this is going to make an awesome cup of coffee. And if you don't have an AEROPRESS, it is a great tool to have in your coffee repertoire. They're not very expensive. I think it was like $30 for this thing. And the more different ways you have to make coffee, like French press, AEROPRESS, or pour over, Chemex, the more different ways your coffee is going to turn out, and the more ways you can experience that same cup of coffee, that great roast that you love. You can experience it in many different ways depending on how you brew it. And the AEROPRESS is a really cool, unique way. I'm going to be telling you all about it coming up. Welcome everyone to corkandjava.com. This is your go-to place for coffee and wine reviews and how-tos. On this channel, we like to expand and enrich your experience with all of your favorite beverages. So if you're new here and you want to join the #1 coffee and wine beverage channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button below so you're notified when all our future videos come out. Alright, so let's get to it. This is the AEROPRESS. What's unique about it is it has a lot of similarities to a French press in that the grounds are completely immersed in water, but then it's got this plunger thing here and a cap with a filter that you squeeze the coffee out, and it adds pressure as you're extracting the coffee. It makes it almost to an espresso-like extraction, where espressos are going to 9 bar typically, up to 12 bar even. Pressure. This doesn't get quite that high, but it kind of mimics it to a certain degree, and you get a really interesting cup of coffee. Alright, so there's many different ways to brew with the AEROPRESS, and the way that it recommends out of the package is not the best way, in my opinion, to use the AEROPRESS. The instructions, I think, make a decent cup of coffee, but I think you can do a lot better, and there's people who've won championships doing this inverted method, and I'm going to be showing you how to do that right now. So first off, you're going to be placing your plunger just barely into the cylinder section here. You get it in just enough there, and we have measured out 35 grams of freshly roasted coffee beans. This is a light roast, but you can really use dark, medium, doesn't really matter, and it doesn't even have to be super fresh roasted coffee. It can be really anything. And you want to make sure you grind to a very coarse setting, like a French press setting. This grinder here, we do a review of that. You can check it out on our channel. This is a great entry-level grinder for under $100, so it's a great one to start out if you want consistent grinds, which you're going to need to do this. Alright, next we'll pour our ground coffee beans, 35 grams, into the cylinder. Hopefully not making a mess. Oh, it does come with a funnel. Should have used that. That would have helped a little bit. Next, we're gonna pre-wet our filter. These come with paper filters, but you can actually purchase metal mesh filters if you like the taste and the oils similar to what you would get in a French press. But I personally like the paper filters, and we're gonna just pre-wet that a little bit with some hot water. We have our water set at 183 degrees, which is 84 degrees Celsius. And we're gonna pour 150 grams of water into the cylinder here. Some people pour just a little bit to let it bloom. I find that really doesn't make much of a difference at all. So I just pour the whole 150 grams, take your stir, give it a stir, make sure you incorporate all the grounds into the water. And once you give it a good stir, you're gonna let it sit for 30 seconds and then you'll put the cap on. All right, 30 seconds. We'll put on that cap, remove all the air. From there, we're gonna flip this onto our cup or decanter or whatever you're pouring your coffee into. It's gotta be a smaller diameter than this outer edge of the AEROPRESS, but larger than the filter. And then at approximately 1 minute from when you first poured the water, you're gonna do pump the rest of the coffee out for about 30 seconds. So it's a fairly slow pump. After you're done with that, you have a very strong cup of coffee, and I recommend pouring about another 150 grams to 200 grams of water. But that's really up to your own taste, how strong you like your coffee, how much more water you add to it. And then you have a delightful cup of coffee. One of my favorite things about the AEROPRESS is it really does have a lot of characteristics of the espresso as far as taste, if you were making espresso with the coffee. And of course it doesn't pour like a shot of espresso, but if you make an AEROPRESS cup and dilute it with some coffee, to me it resembles very closely mimicking an Americano traditional, where you have a double shot of espresso watered down with hot water. This really mimics that drink really well. So if you like those, you will love using this inverted method on the AEROPRESS. And they're great for traveling. They're very small, easy to clean, and they even have smaller, more compact travel versions than this that have come out in the last few years. But overall, it's a great little gadget to have if you're a coffee lover and want to try your favorite coffees in a little bit of a different style. So leave a comment down below with what your favorite technique to use when brewing with an AEROPRESS. Have you used this inverted technique? Do you do it a little bit differently? I'd like to know in the comments down below. Make sure to hit us up on Facebook at Cork and Java. It's a Facebook group where we have tons of conversations about coffee, wine, and all of your favorite beverages, so join us in the conversation there. Find us on Twitter at Cork Java. We also got a Pinterest page, Cork and Java. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys online, so until next time, bottoms up.